Inside the collapse of the DCEU and the rise of James Gunn's DC universe. For over a decade, the DC Extended Universe, DCEU, was Warner Bros.' bold attempt to rival the juggernaut success of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. With iconic characters like Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and The Flash at their disposal, DC seemed destined to dominate the box office and build a vast cinematic empire. But what actually happened was a chaotic series of misfires, mixed critical receptions, studio interference, and fractured storytelling. The DCEU never quite found its footing. But now, in 2025, a new vision is taking hold. Under the leadership of writer-director James Gunn and producer Peter Safran, the DC universe is undergoing a full-scale reboot. And for the first time in years, fans are genuinely hopeful. The DCEU, a universe without a plan. The DCEU officially began in 2013 with Man of Steel, directed by Zack Snyder. It was a darker, grittier take on Superman, with an epic scale and apocalyptic visuals. The film was divisive. Some praised its ambition, others criticized its tone, but it laid the foundation for what was supposed to be a sprawling cinematic universe. In 2016, Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice arrived, and it was clear that DC was trying to fast-track a shared universe. Instead of slow-burn world-building, it rushed to introduce multiple heroes, major storylines, and even hints of future villains. The result? Confusion. The film made money but was lambasted for being bloated and overly grim. Then came Suicide Squad, which suffered heavy reshoots and a tonal clash that made it feel like two different movies stitched together. Justice League followed in 2017, a film that was supposed to be the crown jewel of the DCEU. Instead, it became a production nightmare. After Zack Snyder stepped away due to a personal tragedy, Joss Whedon took over and drastically changed the tone, cutting runtime and injecting awkward humor. The result was a critical and commercial disappointment, with fans eventually rallying years later to demand the original Snyder cut. A universe divided. From there, the DCEU became a fractured world. Films like Wonder Woman 2017 and Aquaman 2018 proved the franchise could deliver hits, but they felt disconnected from a central narrative. Shazam offered humor and heart, while Birds of Prey leaned into stylized chaos. Meanwhile, characters were recast or sidelined. Ben Affleck's Batman faded from the spotlight. Henry Cavill's Superman was left in limbo. Ezra Miller's Flash faced controversies. It was less a shared universe and more a collection of standalone experiments. The lack of coherence, combined with internal leadership shakeups at Warner Bros., left the DCEU adrift. There were plans for Justice League sequels, Cyborg spin-offs, and Green Lantern cores, most of which were quietly scrapped. When Black Adam was released in 2022, starring Dwayne Johnson, it was marketed as a new era for DC. But the film underperformed, and dreams of a Black Adam versus Superman showdown fizzled out. The turning point: Warner Bros. Restructures. By 2022, Warner Bros. Discovery, formed after a major merger, realized it was time for a dramatic reset. The inconsistent DCEU model had run its course. DC's cinematic arm needed a new blueprint, one that didn't rely on reacting to Marvel, but instead focused on strong storytelling and long-term planning. Enter James Gunn. Already beloved for his work on Guardians of the Galaxy and the Suicide Squad, Gunn had proven he could handle ensemble casts, inject humor without sacrificing heart, and deliver visually unique stories. In late 2022, it was announced that James Gunn and producer Peter Safran would co-lead DC Studios, with the goal of rebooting the entire DC film and TV slate under one unified creative vision. The rise of the new DC universe. James Gunn wasted no time. In early 2023, he unveiled a roadmap called Chapter 1: Gods and Monsters, which laid out an ambitious slate of interconnected projects across film, television, animation, and even video games. Crucially, Gunn emphasized that this universe would be story-first, not franchise-first. The new DCU would begin with Superman Legacy, written and directed by Gunn himself. This film promised to explore a younger Clark Kent, already established as Superman, but still figuring out how to balance his Kryptonian heritage with his human upbringing. Rather than being another origin story or grim epic, Superman Legacy aimed to restore the heart, hope, and idealism long associated with the character. Other announced projects included The Authority, Swamp Thing, a new Batman film titled The Brave and the Bold, focusing on Bruce Wayne and his son Damian. And TV shows like Booster Gold and Lanterns, which would tie into the larger narrative. Importantly, Gunn confirmed that actors would portray characters across all mediums, creating a genuinely cohesive universe. Unlike the rushed start of the DCEU, this new DCU would take its time. Gunn acknowledged that not every fan-favorite character would appear immediately. Instead, this was about building a strong foundation and letting the universe grow organically. A different approach to heroes. One of the most exciting elements of Gunn's approach is how he reimagines classic heroes. He respects their origins but isn't afraid to explore new angles. Superman isn't just a god among men, he's a journalist from Kansas trying to do the right thing. Batman isn't just a loner, he's a father grappling with the consequences of his choices. These human elements ground the characters and open the door for emotionally rich storytelling. The tone also marks a shift. While the DCEU was often criticized for being too dark, Gunn's DCU embraces tonal variety. Some projects are serious and mythic, others are quirky or comedic. It's less about fitting everything into a single mold and more about matching tone to story. Fans divided but hopeful. Of course, not everyone is on board. Some Snyderverse loyalists were dismayed that the previous canon was being discarded. The passionate #RestoreThe Snyderverse movement still echoes online, with fans calling for the return of Cavill, Affleck, and others. But even among skeptics, there's a recognition that the old model wasn't working. James Gunn has been transparent with fans, regularly communicating on social media and offering behind-the-scenes insights. His honesty, coupled with a clear creative vision, has won over many who were once cynical about DC's direction. DC's new identity. As Marvel enters its own phase of creative recalibration, DC has a chance to carve out a distinct space. Instead of chasing connected universes for their own sake, Gunn's DCU focuses on character-driven stories with thematic depth. It aims to recapture the magic of what made DC's heroes iconic in the first place: truth, justice, courage, and complexity. What once felt like a fractured universe of missed opportunities is now being reforged into something bold and exciting. There's no guarantee of success, of course. The entertainment industry is unpredictable, and audience tastes change. But one thing is clear: under James Gunn's leadership, the DC universe has purpose again. It's no longer about copying Marvel. It's about finding DC's soul.